1971, a year when rock wasn't just played, it was lived. The air smelled like vinyl, long hair ruled the streets, and radios blasted anthems that would shape not just a decade, but an entire generation. Rock music didn't just evolve in '71, it exploded. In this video, we're traveling back to those golden days to celebrate 13 legendary rock songs from 1971 that didn't just dominate the charts. They changed music history forever. These tracks became the pulse of a generation, each one carving its own legacy into the heart of rock and roll. So dust off your records, turn the dial up, and get ready to relive the riffs, the voices, and the moments that made 1971 a landmark year for rock. This is more than nostalgia. This is history. It's impossible to start this list without the song that defined epic rock storytelling, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Released on their untitled fourth album, this track wasn't just heard, it was felt. From its delicate acoustic opening to that unforgettable electric crescendo, Stairway showcased Zeppelin's mastery of tension and release. Written in the quiet Welsh countryside of Bron Yr O'r, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant crafted a song that would become the most requested track on FM radio for decades, despite never being released as a single in the US. Fans remember needle drops on vinyl players, listening as the song's haunting notes filled smoky bedrooms and crowded basements. Even today, when those first chords echo, you're transported back to a time when rock felt like magic. Few bands embodied raw energy quite like the Stones, and Brown Sugar proved it in spades. Kicking off their Sticky Fingers album, this track delivered swagger, controversy, and one of the dirtiest guitar riffs of the decade. Recorded in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, Brown Sugar was Jagger's ode to temptation, wrapped in pure rock and roll grit. It shot to #1 on charts worldwide, but its legacy lives in the way it opened concerts, sparking arenas to life for decades. For fans in the early '70s, Brown Sugar was more than a hit. It was an attitude, a soundtrack for rebellion. Next up, a song that blended synthesizers and stadium rock like never before. The opening synth loop of Baba O'Reilly wasn't just futuristic, it was revolutionary. Pete Townshend fused electronic experimentation with The Who's raw rock power, creating a track that still ignites crowds over 50 years later. Released as the opener to Who's Next, Baba O'Reilly wasn't about wasted lives. It was about youthful energy refusing to fade. For teens blasting this track from their cars in 1971, it was a rallying cry. Though it never charted as a single in the US or UK, its legacy towers, from arenas to movie soundtracks. To this day, when that synth kicks in, every rock fan knows they're in for something legendary. But 1971's sonic innovations didn't stop there. David Bowie was always ahead of his time. And Life on Mars is proof. Released on Hunky Dory, this track blended glam rock, surreal lyrics, and an orchestral arrangement that felt like a rock opera compressed into 4 minutes. Bowie's piercing vocals and Mick Ronson's piano work turned what could have been a novelty into a generation-defining track. For many, this was their first glimpse into Bowie's alien genius. It wasn't just a song, it was an escape. Fans remember spinning this track as the needle glided across vinyl, letting Bowie take them somewhere else. Speaking of visions for a better world, simple, haunting, unforgettable. John Lennon's Imagine wasn't just a song, it became a global anthem for peace. Inspired by Yoko Ono's poetry, Lennon recorded it in his English home studio, but its message reached every corner of the planet. That gentle piano, those hopeful words, it felt like a hymn for a better tomorrow. Whether played at protests, weddings, or quiet personal moments, Imagine became part of life's soundtrack. Even today, it echoes through speakers at world events, its call for unity as relevant as ever. But on the other side of 1971's soundscape, things were getting heavier. Thunderous guitars, doomy riffs, Black Sabbath's Children of the Grave wasn't just heavy, it was revolutionary, featured on Master of Reality. This track saw Ozzy and company urging youth to reject war and embrace peace, all while pounding their message into listeners' skulls with raw sonic power. At the height of the Vietnam War, Sabbath's anti-war anthem wasn't subtle, but it resonated. Fans remember the sheer weight of Iommi's guitars, shaking concert halls as smoke filled the air. Children of the Grave didn't just inspire metal bands for decades, it helped define what heavy metal was. From darkness to a different kind of progressive sound. If prog rock had an anthem, it was Roundabout by Yes. Opening their Fragile album, this track took listeners on a musical journey with shifting tempos, intricate guitar work, and Chris Squire's unforgettable bass line. Inspired by the band's drive through Scotland, Roundabout felt like an open-road adventure, perfect for 70s listeners craving something more complex than pop hits. For fans spinning this on vinyl, it wasn't background music. It was an experience, a moment to get lost in. Next, a former Beatle steps into his own spotlight.
2, 3, 4.
Bright horns, driving rhythm. George Harrison's What Is Life proved the quiet Beatle had plenty to say. Off his triple album All Things Must Pass, this track mixed pop, soul, and spiritual reflection in a way only Harrison could. Though originally written for Billy Preston, Harrison kept it for himself, and it became one of his most beloved solo works. For fans missing the Beatles but craving something new, What Is Life felt like a bridge between worlds. Decades later, its joyful melody still resonates, a testament to Harrison's gentle brilliance. But glam rock was about to take center stage. With swagger and sparkle, T-Rex's Bang a Gong, Get It On helped kick glam rock into overdrive. Mark Bolan's seductive voice and Chuck Berry-inspired riff made this track an instant classic. Released in the summer of '71, it wasn't just a song, it was a style. Fans remember Bolan's glittered stage presence and the infectious groove that filled dance floors and stadiums alike. Covered by everyone from Blondie to U2, Bang a Gong remains one of glam rock's defining tracks, a glittering, grooving slice of history. Speaking of youthful rebellion, before he was king of shock rock, Alice Cooper broke through with this gritty anthem of teenage confusion. I'm 18 captured the awkwardness of growing up better than any track before it, set to a dark, bluesy guitar riff that felt both raw and real. Recorded as part of Love It to Death, the track convinced Warner Brothers that Cooper was destined for stardom. For countless teens in 1971, hearing Cooper's raspy voice declare their confusion was like someone finally understood. A rebel yell for a generation caught between childhood and adulthood. Next up, a song about a man down on his luck. Grimy, gritty, profound. Jethro Tull's Aqualong wasn't a single, yet became one of the band's signature tracks. With Ian Anderson's acoustic guitar and flute battling heavy electric riffs, Aqualung told the story of a down-and-out vagabond. Recorded in the same building as Led Zeppelin's legendary fourth album, Aqualung blended progressive rock complexity with social commentary. Fans remember flipping this LP and letting Anderson's sneering vocals and virtuosic playing fill their rooms. Decades later, it's still a staple of classic rock radio, and a reminder that even rock music can tell uncomfortable stories. And finally, a Southern rock classic born from the blues.
Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low.
Few slide guitar intros hit as hard as Statesboro Blues. Recorded live at the Fillmore East, the Allman Brothers Band transformed this old blues tune into a Southern rock powerhouse. Duane Allman's slide guitar moaned and wailed, earning accolades from Rolling Stone and guitar legends alike. For fans in smoky clubs and open-air festivals, Statesboro Blues became an instant favorite, a perfect fusion of blues roots and rock muscle. Though never a single, its legacy was sealed on that legendary live album, influencing Southern rock bands for generations to come. And there you have it. 13 rock songs from 1971 that didn't just top charts, They redefined rock itself. From anthems of rebellion to calls for peace, from electrifying riffs to soulful ballads, these tracks became touchstones for a generation that lived and breathed music. Which of these songs takes you back, or did we miss a favorite of yours? Let us know down in the comments. Let's relive those memories together. If you enjoyed this journey through rock history, give this video a thumbs up, share it with a fellow music lover, and don't forget to subscribe for more trips down memory lane. Until next time, keep the vinyl spinning and the spirit of rock alive.